Pringles isn't technically a potato chip in the traditional sense. That's part of a brilliant product positioning strategy that helped the brand revolutionize the global snack industry. Instead of being made from rough, uneven potato slices, Pringles is officially recognized as an innovative, savory snack cracker. In fact, every chip you eat contains only about 42% potato. The rest is an industrial magic trick crafted from rice and wheat flour. So why does every single chip have that perfectly identical curve with millions of pieces matching down to the millimeter? It's no coincidence. The answer lies in a mathematical structure called the hyperbolic paraboloid, a super durable saddle-shaped design engineered to disperse impact forces, something natural potato slices could never achieve. From vast potato fields to a lightning-fast frying process that takes only 11 seconds, we're about to uncover the secrets behind one of the most perfectly engineered snack empires in the world. If you're ready to discover the truth behind the legendary cylindrical can, let's dive in right now. And if you enjoy this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. The birth of a billion-dollar idea. Back in the 1960s, traditional potato chips were incredibly popular, but they had one major flaw: they broke far too easily. Even a slightly long shipment could leave an entire bag filled with crushed crumbs. On top of that, the excessive grease made them unpleasant for many consumers. After receiving countless customer complaints, Procter & Gamble decided it was time to create an entirely new kind of snack, one that looked better, felt cleaner, and delivered perfect consistency in every bite. That was when chemist Frederick Bauer stepped in with a remarkably bold idea. Instead of using real potato slices, he would create chips from processed potato dough pressed into perfectly uniform molds. That single concept would eventually spark the snack revolution known as Pringles. But turning that vision into reality meant solving an even bigger challenge first. Using potato dough was a groundbreaking innovation, but how could those thin, fragile pieces survive transportation without crumbling apart? The answer lay in a strange geometric design we're about to uncover next. The unusual shape that changed the snack industry forever. After developing the signature potato-based dough formula, Frederick Bauer faced an even greater challenge. How could the chips survive transportation without shattering into pieces? But Bauer wasn't just a chemist. He was also a master architect of food design. He introduced the hyperbolic paraboloid structure, often compared to the shape of a saddle, a remarkably durable geometric form capable of distributing pressure and eliminating physical weak points. Combined with the iconic cylindrical can filled with pure nitrogen gas, Pringles successfully solved the problem of oxidation, keeping every chip crispy, fresh, and tasting as if it had just come off the production line. But to fill those cans, the company needed an ingredient that wasn't exactly fresh potato slices. The can design and the famous saddle shape were finally ready, yet producing millions of cans every single day required an enormous supply of raw materials. So now, let's leave the laboratory behind and head to the vast potato fields where the entire journey truly begins. The massive potato fields. To produce millions of cans of Pringles every single day, the journey begins in enormous potato fields, stretching as far as the eye can see. Once harvest season arrives, gigantic machines immediately go into non-stop operation. They dig through the soil, pull up the potatoes, and automatically separate rocks, roots, and dirt within minutes. The potatoes are then loaded onto vibrating conveyor systems for an initial cleaning before being transported by truck to the factory. But this is only the beginning, because once inside the plant, those ordinary potatoes are about to undergo a truly astonishing transformation. Tons of potatoes have now arrived at the facility, but they're still covered in mud, dust, and impurities. Before entering the ultra-clean production line, Each potato must go through an intense, deep cleansing process. Cleaning and selecting the ingredients. As soon as the potatoes arrive at the factory, they are dumped into enormous water tanks where powerful streams of water blast away mud and dirt. From there, they move through rotating drums with rough surfaces that work like giant sheets of sandpaper, automatically peeling off the skins. Quality control workers carefully inspect every batch, immediately removing any potatoes that are damaged, misshapen, or defective. Only the ones that meet strict standards are allowed to continue down the production line. Everything must remain perfectly consistent, because even the slightest variation could affect the quality of millions of chips produced afterward. Once the potatoes are spotless and thoroughly selected, they won't be sliced the traditional way. Instead, they're about to enter a transformation process involving heat, precision engineering, and high-speed blades. Industrial cutting and steam cooking. After being thoroughly cleaned, the potatoes are briefly dipped into hot water to soften them and deactivate the enzymes responsible for discoloration. Next, the potatoes are fed into a high-speed rotating blade system. These razor-sharp blades chop the potatoes into small pieces in less than a second. The potatoes are then steamed at temperatures exceeding 110 degrees Celsius for around 15 minutes, allowing the starch to reach its ideal consistency. At this stage, the potatoes become incredibly smooth and creamy, perfectly prepared for the most important step in the entire production line, transforming into Pringles' signature dough mixture. The potatoes may now be soft and creamy, but they still aren't Pringles yet. The next stage is where the real industrial magic happens, turning fresh potatoes into ultralight potato flakes, the true soul of this iconic snack. From potatoes to Pringles dough. This is where the real magic begins. After being steamed, the potatoes are dried and processed into ultra-fine potato flakes. But here's the secret behind it all: the golden ratio, only 42% pure potato. The remaining ingredients aren't simply fillers. They are a carefully engineered blend of rice and wheat flour designed to create the perfectly uniform crunch that traditional potato chips could never achieve. This mixture forms a dough with the ideal elasticity, allowing engineers to roll it down to just 1 millimeter thick while still maintaining absolute consistency. The signature dough mixture is now complete, and from this point on, the machinery takes over with the precision of a master craftsman, shaping thousands of identical chips down to the exact millimeter. Creating the perfect chips. Once the dough is fully mixed, it is continuously rolled into an ultra-thin sheet measuring only about 1 millimeter thick. Next, an automated cutting system goes to work like a series of high-speed stamping machines, producing countless perfectly round chips with incredibly precise dimensions. None of the excess dough goes to waste. Every leftover piece is collected and sent back to the beginning of the production line to be reused. But at this stage, they are still nothing more than flat pieces of dough. The next process is what gives Pringles the iconic shape recognized all around the world. Right now, those flat dough pieces may look plain and unremarkable. But in the next 11 seconds, under the intense heat of boiling oil and specialized molds, they will transform into the legendary saddle-shaped chips we all know today. Frying and creating the signature curved shape. The dough pieces are carefully placed onto specially designed curved metal molds before entering boiling oil, heated to over 170 degrees Celsius. In just around 11 short seconds, the chips are both fried to a golden crisp and formed into Pringles' famous curved shape at the same time. This unique design allows the chips to stack neatly on top of one another without breaking easily. After leaving the fryer, the chips move through oil removal and cooling systems to preserve their perfect crunch. But Pringles still isn't complete yet, because the thing that truly makes people addicted lies in the seasoning that comes next. Crispy, golden, and perfectly shaped. Yet without the next step, Pringles would simply be flavorless fried dough. Now it's time for the most anticipated moment of all, the arrival of the seasoning storm. The tempting storm of seasoning. There's a secret that 90% of Pringles eaters never realize. The seasoning is applied only to the curved top side of the chip as it moves along the conveyor belt. Why? Because when you place the chip in your mouth, that curved surface makes direct contact with your tongue first, creating an instant flavor explosion. It's a brilliant application of taste psychology. Engineers carefully calculated the perfect point of contact, so the flavor would hit at the very first second, creating a highly engineered eating experience designed to captivate consumers from the very first bite. The flavor is now complete, but the journey still isn't over. To ensure the very last chip inside the can remains just as crispy as the first one, the packaging process must be carried out with laboratory-level precision. Canning and quality control. The chips are carefully stacked into perfectly aligned columns before automated sensors count and weigh the exact amount required for each can. At the same time, quality control workers continuously monitor the production line, removing any chips that are broken or misshapen. Once filled, Pringles' iconic foil-lined paper cans are immediately sealed tight to preserve maximum freshness and crunch. Finally, the products are printed with codes, packed into cartons and shipped all across the world. And it's almost unbelievable to think that the journey of a perfectly engineered Pringles chip begins with nothing more than ordinary potatoes growing out in the fields. The journey behind a perfect can of Pringles. The perfection of Pringles doesn't come from machinery alone. It's also the result of incredibly sophisticated psychological engineering. From the signature pop sound when opening the lid to the seasoning applied on only one side of the chip to subtly manipulate your taste experience. Every detail is carefully designed. This is more than just a manufacturing process. It's a true revolution in the world of industrial food production. Pringles stands as proof of how powerful modern food technology has become. So what about you? Do you appreciate the convenience and precision behind this engineering masterpiece? Or are you more drawn to the authenticity of traditional snacks? Click on the video currently appearing on your screen to explore more million-dollar manufacturing processes. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next fascinating industrial secrets.